destiny. All those prayers unanswered. You're fooling yourself.
God, a myth for the weak. Look at the world. Chaos, suffering. Where's your savior now?
What kind of man are you? Always second guessing, never decisive. Real men lead, you follow. You falter, pathetic. Choices define it.
She deserves better. Your love is weak, unreliable.
How long would teach you to see he's a fraud? You're not a rock. You're crumbly sand.
Daddy, you're supposed to protect, teach, inspire. But look, failures pile up. What legacy are you leaving?
The battle within never ends. Fight me if you can.
I listen to everybody else's perspective. As I try to give mine, I get pushback, cut off, pushback, cut off, pushback, cut off. So I'm just trying to wait so I can at least get my full thought out so that you can at least understand where I'm coming from. But I understand, I get it. It's so different from what other people feel is right that they can't help but to jump up and say, no, you're wrong. Modern woman, blah, 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 blah. And I get it. But I just want to give my perspective. Like I let everybody give their perspective. I want to be heard like everybody else is heard on the panel. I'm waiting patiently. I'm being quiet. Even when they jump in on me. The first few, I'm patient. But it's five at a time. They just, it's nonstop. So it's like, okay, now I'm getting irritated. Then
I think that for me, like growing up and being in certain environments, and I'm very observant when I go out and how I am around people. And what I've seen now has happened to me, how people backstab people very quickly and how girls turn on girls and how guys be messing with their homeboys chicks. And I just don't think like everybody wants to call everybody their friend. Well, that's cool. They can do that, but I don't do that. I think that calling someone your friend or your family, I take very highly of that. So just because you have conversations online with somebody, okay, you want to think that's your friend, cool, right? But me, I don't treat it like that because I feel like trust has to be earned with me. So when trust is earned during a certain time period, then you might, get up to that extra level, then you might become a friend.
I think pretty much just like LA, except minus the beaches for the most part. And I had a culture shock when I moved out here, though. All these black people, I'm like, okay, it's a bunch of black people here, but I don't see a bunch of anybody else here like how I see in LA. So that was a culture shock for me, most definitely. And the club scene out here is way better, in my opinion, just because if they stay open later.
How late?
Well, back in the 90s, in the 1900s, as my kids would say.
Oh, they're wrong for that one.
Yeah. But back in the 90s, the clubs would close in LA at like around maybe 2, maybe 3 o'clock, if I remember correctly. I think it was 3 o'clock. It definitely wasn't no 4 o'clock.
So around that time, a lot of
would go over to the manosphere spaces or whatever. And what a lot of us started noticing, or at least this is what I noticed individually, and I didn't find out till later that a lot of guys had that same concern, which was whenever we brought up topics that were more specific to black men's experiences, it was kind of like they didn't want to touch on those topics. They wanted to keep the topics more general, just about men in general. But the problem was there were certain issues that were more specific to black men that we wanted to address. So when I started, putting out my content, there were other guys that came along, and this is after what we call like 1.0. Like those brothers that I just named, like Thug Titian and all of them, they don't call themselves Black Manosphere, but
Right.
that came after them, me and a few other guys, I started calling it Black Manosphere to kind of separate and differentiate ourselves from the other group. And so because we wanted to pay homage to the dudes that came before us, we started calling it 2.0. So 1.0, even though that's an unofficial name, it was meant to basically pay homage to the dudes that came before us. But when 2.0 came in, we kind of took things, to another level. We kind of took things to another level with a lot of guys having a great deal of success. You know what I'm saying? Some of the names like Kevin Samuels, there's a few guys. I won't mention everybody, but there are even guys that are not technically what you would call Black Manosphere, but they kind of fall under the same umbrella because people forcibly put them under that umbrella, even though they don't really identify as that. You feel what I'm saying?
What's going on, y'all? Welcome to another edition of the BTSI show. No, we don't want to hear from you, my brother. Thank you. Welcome to another edition of the BTSI show. Me, host Christopher J. Thank you guys for tuning in. Another day of me being, home. Yeah, where we at? There we go. Got to get the link for my people on Clubhouse real quick. And speaking of which, let me also let these people know that this is a simulcast. Uh, all right. Other than that, I hope everybody's having a blessed day today. I had the day, let's say, had a day off. Then some things changed. So, and I financially made up for it previously. So we're good. All right. We're all set. Thank you guys for tuning in. Do me a favor. Where we at? If you want more content like this, please like, subscribe, and share. Follow me on all social links are located in the description. Excuse me. And we're almost there at our goal, so we can do this Cash App giveaway episode. Once we reach our goal to 1,000, 4 people are going to win some type of cash apps. Oh, excuse me. Now, and I also want to say shout out to everybody that's watching me right now on YouTube, Facebook, Twitch, and those who are listening to me on Clubhouse. Thank you, Kylie. Thank you, Kylie. Now, today is going to be uh, one of those episodes. Like I said, as you guys could probably figure out, this is something for my Clubhouse people, but every now and then, it's like if I'm already at the house, I might as well turn on the camera. And also, that's another thing. Well, I might just throw that in somewhere in the episode regarding this new updates on Clubhouse. We'll just we'll see how this day plays out. Let me just get through pinging people in. All right, that was the first batch. Now we're about to just take a break. But while I'm doing that, today's episode is going to be the five. Oh, first break. It's going to be the five components. Now, there's only a couple people who has heard me use that language or that wording before when it comes to the five components. And one thing I tell people, if you are responsible to play a certain position in the household in your life, it shows that they're listening to do this when you hyper focus on one thing, but you ignore the others as well. And we're going to go over that today. Because to my surprise, people are still ignoring the other aspects of what their duties are. And I find that to be an issue. Now, I do understand that we all have different foundations, so all responsibility is not going to be the same. I can acknowledge that. But one thing I will speak about is other lanes that exist, and the idea that you didn't know exists is kind of complex, but we're not going to judge. We're just going to introduce a perspective that I know for a fact most people haven't registered because they are failing in those particular lanes. So it's like, let's, instead of keeping this to myself, excuse me, I was like, nah, I suppose I could just speak on it, especially when we get to the topics later on in the week. But while I'm doing this, I want to take a moment to let everybody know that I have been catching up on my Disney Plus shows, particularly Marvel. Binge watch Your Neighborhood Spider Man. Binge watch Iron Man Born Again, and I just finished what's it called? Ironheart. Yeah. Hey man, that just why y'all ain't tell me? Why ain't y'all tell me? Y'all could have see. I trust people to because people know my life that I'm busy and I can make time for things, but if it's not going to move me, just I'd rather y'all just keep it to yourself, and I'll just come across it when I can. The things that people rush in my face is stupid shit. When it comes to the good shit, y'all keep it to yourselves. Apparently, I felt like a kid again watching Your Neighborhood Spider Man, especially when it came to episode 9, when Spider Man and Tombstone fought the Scorpion together. I was into this storyline. I was hyped all the way. Now it was a slow build regarding the first episode, whatever. It was a slow build, but it finally started to grow. It started to gain traction. I was like, there we go. This is good writing. I like this. So that was your friendly neighborhood Spider-Man, and I'm saying all this while I'm finishing things on the clubhouse end. And season 2 come out later on this year, so I can't wait for that shit. Also, when it comes to Daredevil Born Again, you still have the grittiness from Netflix, just better writers on the MCU side. This was great, especially the White Tiger episode, because I was into that court scene and how I was cussing out Murdoch through the phones like, Murdoch, what the fuck are you doing? Why did you pull out that mask on them? Got me all the way into that episode. I was like, dang, they got me. Good job. It was great. The show was great. They didn't have to, like, I understand the first episode regarding how spoiler alert, oh well, season 2 is coming out later on this month. How Foggy got assassinated. Other than that, you just had Daredevil going through the scenes, and it's like let's not rush it. Let's gradually get him into the outfit. So I'm all for it. And also, is it me or did Wilson Fisk become a likable character? Like almost got me thinking that I could vote for him as mayor of New York. Then I think the 7th or 8th episode happened. I was like, yep, there we go. Like that's why we don't fuck with them. But that shit was good writing. And Ironheart, I texted my friend yesterday. Ironheart was a mixture of the first Iron Man 3, um, Captain America, Civil War, Doctor Strange, the Netflix show Lucifer, and a smudge of Get Out. Put all that together, you got Ironheart. That was exceptional. Very much exceptional. Now, some of y'all say, what do you mean Lucifer and Get Out? When you get to the last episode, you'll see why. Like I said, that was a exceptional writing, ladies and gentlemen. All right, about to do my last batch, and we're gonna get started with the show. Dang, all these people want to pop up on the app. Damn. So yeah, that was y'all gotta let me know when some of these good shows be hitting the streets. And Daredevil season 2 starts um this month. And a matter of fact, in 2 weeks, I think. Oh yeah, I'm definitely gonna do that. Be there every week to watch a show. And I'm saying all that to say this. We're gonna bring back the comment headed segment. Because every now and then I do comic book rooms on Clubhouse. And on top of that, my friend and I are always talking about Doctor Strange and the incursions. She's a big phase 1, 2, and 3 fan. And she's after that it just got so convoluted that she kind of fell off. So we'll get back into that. We're definitely going to get right into it. All right, let me get my last batch of people in here. Then ping the last batch of people. Then we are going to get started. Please don't let nobody come on the app because I got to redo this shit. All right, there we go. Do. But yeah, we're gonna get started with the comment here. We're gonna bring that back for season 12. And just a reminder, y'all, season 12, the BTSI show, it's not this Friday. It will be next Friday on YouTube. We're gonna simulcast on all platforms. Now, since also Trap Karaoke is going to be in Houston exact same day, chances are that I might do this season premiere at noon. So that way I can go out that night, see what they really talking about the R&B stuff. All right, that is good. All right, let's get now. Now we got everything there. I think we have somebody on my Miss China. Miss China, how you doing, baby? Thank you for pulling up. Thank you for supporting. You know what? Where's that link? Is this it? No, that's not it. All right, there we go. All right, so if anybody on YouTube wants to pull up, the link is right there. Actually, let me do this on my desktop. And I want to thank you guys for being patient. Respect is in the building. I saw my homegirl HBIC, and like I said, China was on my clubhouse stage. Now she's supporting me through YouTube and as a mod position. So I am happy that y'all here. And let's see. This China again. Why is this being retarded? There we go. I'm good. I'm gonna come over to show you some love. Yeah, I appreciate that, sweetheart. Thank you so much. Thank you, thank you, thank you. All right, let's see. Yeah, sometimes I gotta use a phone. All right, I'm gonna need my YouTube desktop to go a little bit faster. And also, we might review a product. I saw that Apple has a new MacBook for $600 or $700. They says just as um, efficient as their other Apple products, other MacBooks. Because Lord knows yeah, for those who know, we have some up and downs with this desktop. So you mean to tell me I can get a MacBook finally? Shit, you better believe it. But we'll definitely check that out when we get closer to the dates. And also, a lot of people are just in case anybody, especially on the audio side, wondering why I'm simulcast, why I'm on YouTube, or why I have it like this, because a lot of people on the app are scared to show their faces, to show the lifestyle that they're really living. See, in the case of me, I don't talk none of that fancy stuff or that rich stuff to begin with. So that means everything I've articulated about my life can be seen, is visualized. A lot of people don't want to show their lifestyle. A lot of people are not interested in telling people. Let me actually make sure this part is on mute. There we go. A lot of people's not interested in telling people that they live by themselves, they pay their own bills, they take care of all this responsibility, kids or whatever. A lot of people like to talk that rich shit or whatever the case may be. I like to talk this is where I'm at, so that way ain't no one surprised when they see me. Type of talk. That's where I'm at. That's where I'm with it. That's how I get down, ladies and gentlemen. So yeah, that's pretty much what it is. So we're gonna go ahead and finally get started, ladies and gentlemen. Sorry, that took a little bit too long, but don't worry, we here. So before we get started, let's get into some quick hits, shall we? So, first news. First batch of news. Okay, go a little bit faster. Thank you. All right, so we all been hearing talks about Stephen A. Smith running for president, or the rumors of him running for president in 2028. Kay Slay, interesting person I would love to talk to after quick hits. So if you can come up, I would greatly appreciate it. So Stephen A's talked about running for president in 2028. And I know hey baby, and I know that's been one of the top stuff in the rumor mills. Now, when he went on Sean Hannity's show to speak about the ideas of him running, or was challenged about that, ladies and gentlemen, here, let's get this closer. Here is his reply. Where we going?
Question.
Yeah.
2028's coming pretty quick.
Yeah.
If you had to pick, I think it's all bullshit. I don't think you're running. Am I right?
I don't think I'm running either because I got to give up my money.
You don't. Yeah, you want to.
I ain't giving him my money.
You want a plane?
Sean, I ain't giving my money.
I got it.
I can tell you right now. Let me put the presidential aspirations
It's over.
to bed. From if I have to give up my money, it's not happening.
Y'all heard it here first, ladies and gentlemen. Stephen A. Smith is not, I repeat, is not running for president. That man makes too much money, way too much money, between ESPN, Straight Shooter, his media company, and all the advertisement that's coming in. That's too much money. Too much money in a good way, by the way. Too much money. To my knowledge, the president of the United States makes $400,000 a year.
So you're saying he make way more than that already?
Absolutely. That's a severe pay cut if he becomes president of the United States. Donald Trump is taking a pay cut for being president of the United States. But I understand. But there's a goal to change the law, especially for the pertaining taxes, the tax breaks, and that type of stuff. I get it, but he's a billionaire. Stephen A. is not. I want my millions. So
excuse my ignorance, but what does he do now, Stephen A?
Sure. He's a sports pundit. He's on ESPN. He's on First Take. He has his own podcast where he talks sports, social issues.
Space, but didn't know his name. So.
Oh no. Stephen A. Not Stephen A. Been out of there. He been took off. So he. Okay. But with everybody talking about him running for president, he already made it clear. Don't play with my money. So he would never run for president. I don't blame him. I don't blame him a little bit. Yeah, I want. Trust me, he's been a millionaire for the record, but he's probably the face of ESPN. So to get that type of money, on top of that, what you do outside of that, yeah, I want my money. Maybe when I become a billionaire, we'll talk about that. Look at China right here saying, "Thank goodness, girl, please, what's wrong with you?" Shout out to my guy Cowboys in the building. Pay cut. Now, one president has left the office broke. Cowboy, millions of dollars in comparison to what? 1.6 for one term, which is what? 3.2 for two terms? And I walked away from tens of millions? Shit. Absolutely not.
And don't you got to put millions into the campaign?
Yeah, you got to put some money into the campaign. Donations, to be exact. But yeah, you got to put some money into those campaigns. But yeah, I don't blame him. Shout out to Stephen A. But wise decision. Next one, let's get to Tasha K.
What she do?
Let's see. Let's get it. I'm gonna post it and I'm gonna read it. Where we at? Overlays.
May I ask where you from?
Who?
I said, may I ask you where you from?
He's Texas, born and raised.
Oh, cool.
Yes, represent all day. All right, how do I take this off? All right, let me move this right here then. Okay, Tasha K put this out on Twitter the other day. And of course, we all know Tasha K from Gossip News. But of course, y'all know she said something about Cardi B. Cardi B sued. And last time I checked, that was a $4 million lawsuit that Tasha K lost. So, this is what she tweeted. To my winos, which is her fan base. From the bottom of my soul, thank you. You asked me to let, You asked me to let you help bless me. And who am I to block our blessings? What about Audrey? On day one alone, we raised almost $10,000 between GoFundMe, Cash App, and Venmo. I'm beyond grateful. We got 364 days left to reach our goal and finally close this 9-year court battle. I didn't know she was battling Cardi for 9 years. Where the hell I been at? I'm rolling out snacks, shirts, wine glass, and mentorship classes. Shit. No comment. All proceeds going towards the mission. Thank you to everyone who donated and supported on day one. The world may drag me, but the wino gang always lift me up. I'm also putting in $20,000 a month of my own money to help finish this faster. You keep me in your prayers. We're about to make history together. Thank you for honoring my birthday wishes. Uh, so what's regarding that comment, ladies and gentlemen? How can I say this respectfully? Mm.
You are stupid. You are stupid. And don't forget, you are stupid.
Shouldn't been talking shit. See, for the record, I respect Tasha K. I have no problem with what she's doing as far as starting her own business, making her own media company, and getting out there. Salute to you. Zero problems. But when it comes to putting news out there, ladies and gentlemen, here's one thing I do. I make sure the sources are there. So whether I'm right or wrong, y'all know where I got this from. And I'm just giving my opinion based off of the information that's there. She said something. Cardi B didn't like it. Matter of fact, I think it goes as far as for defamation or just a flat out lie. Cardi sued for $4 million, and that's what she got. A $4 million lawsuit. But now reading this, she is putting $20,000 of her own money into it. And if you guys go to the description, and also, if I'm gonna talk about Tasha K at the bare minimum, I could at least just put her link out there, and it's in the description. If you guys go to her GoFundMe, the last time I checked, it was like I think $8,600 that was donated to the GoFundMe, and obviously I'm not. No one got access to her Cash App or Venmo, and she's also putting $20,000 of her own money in there. I say salute to her. I say absolute salute to her, and God bless her. That's just be a record to you guys. Excuse me, let this be a lesson to you guys. If you're going to report on the news, make sure you have facts or evidence to support your case. Because if not, you can end up with a lawsuit too. I'm very careful about the news that I report, and I'm also letting people know where it comes from when asked. So shout out to Tasha K. And one more thing, because I'm glad Kay Slay is here, because she said something interesting last night. And I want her to actually elaborate on it so we can just have a conversation. Small conversation, no biggie.
Okay, cool.
What was this? Oh, Terrence Howard. Terrence Howard.
Oh, I just saw that.
Yeah, I don't know how I feel, but let's just play the video. Let's play the video because I'm still working on it. Let's play the video. Poor Terrence.
Fantasy of wanting to be a Hollywood couple, like what if her and you never thought about it that way?
Nah, that was never on the table for me.
You see Jay-Z with Beyonce. You see these couples where it's like,
I had a chance to date Beyonce, early on, and we had a conversation, and I ended up talking to the other girl inside of, Destiny, the girl with the blue eyes. And I remember Beyonce looking over at me, and I think that's why she picked me to do that dance when she did the kind of striptease dance that we did at the BTS or whatever, to show me what I had lost.
Do you want it? Do you want it? Do you want it?
There was a moment in which I felt something there. But,
with Beyonce.
Yeah, but that was long before she was with Jay-Z. That was very, very long ago.
Fantasy of wanting to...
Man, it was super kid.
I guess I'm trying to see, was this information warranted? Did I need to know that Terrence Howard almost had a shot with Beyonce when they were young adults? I'll say that, young adults. China in the chat said, "Let it go, bro." Yeah, yeah, that was crazy. I know he was ass. He was ass. I get it. I get it. Me personally, I just wouldn't volunteer that information. Um, like as far as like my dealings, it's my dealings with whoever, ladies and gentlemen. I don't really go in details unless it's already public knowledge. Who I used to rock with. Other than that, I'm not saying anything. I'm keeping that shit to my. I'm keeping that to myself. You don't ask about it, yeah. Now, especially when it comes to meeting up with people, yeah. Unless it's public knowledge, y'all don't like on the clubhouse side. Y'all not gonna know who I met up with, and even on the YouTube side, um, unless we're doing a project. And usually people don't find out the project till later. But you're talking about the actual licensing. Unless I'm meeting up with people, that's it. Other than that, I'm not telling y'all what I'm doing. Um, Especially like that. Want to be on the business side or the personal side? Keep that. Terrence, I didn't need that information. I didn't need that. Sorry, I didn't. I could have lived without that. Kay, what do you think about that? You say you just heard volunteer that information.
Well, I saw a little video that was talking about the abuse he experienced as a kid. That's what I thought you were about to bring up.
The the what
But
experience?
that he had some abuse from the age of like 4 to like 13.
Oh, tell us more. I didn't know about that.
So he made a claim. I just saw quick video on like what is that, like one of them neighborhood talk or one of them type of sites, Instagram. He was
Mhm.
making a statement. He had more sex than he ever had in life from the age
Oh,
of
I
4 to
did see
13.
that. I did hear about that. That he had more sex between the ages a young age than his adult life. Yeah, I did.
Yeah,
You know
but
what?
I mean, my opinion on. Go
Go
ahead.
ahead. Go ahead. I'll let you talk about it. Go ahead.
I was gonna say my opinion on this Beyonce thing is, I mean, yeah, it sounds crazy, but I think any man that ever had a shot at Beyonce, like if it was a man that was in line at some point and felt like he caught her eye, he would brag about it too. I think it's just a Beyonce thing.
I remember the first time I heard about it, just years ago. Somebody that nobody ever heard of went on some news outlet and said that he used to date Beyonce back in high school.
Yeah, I remember that too.
I was like, and I think they showed a picture of him. I'm like, be quiet, sir. Kept that information to yourself. But
Right.
it's interesting. But the comment about him having sex, you know what? That is a conversation worth having. Maybe not today, but
Yeah.
we need to have that conversation about men. Excuse me. Let me definitely rephrase that. We need to have a conversation about young boys, like children, who had
Right.
to go through that as a kid, and ultimately how did that affect your adult life. But
Hmm.
that's a conversation for when we get there. Cowboys in the building. Cowboy, what's up, man?
Yo, what it is, what it do, man.
What's going on? What you got, man?
Man, first of all, you guys need to stop talking like you celebrities. You
What
know,
you mean?
first, because you don't know how it works. First of all, they know the questions. They don't sit down and get surprised. Like, oh my word! Like whenever they get surprised with a question, that's when you start seeing them take the mic off and they leave. Because they asked some question that wasn't already set up for the interview. Um,
Uh,
so this had to be set up because like they got to make the interview interesting. So it's like you got to give me something, and these reporters be begging for information. So they date anybody that's that and the third. And Terrence, we really don't see who he dates. He typically keeps a lot of stuff to himself. So mind you, he didn't talk about anybody he's dealing with currently. He reached way back
if he's dealing with somebody currently.
and
But
talked
come
about
on,
some.
but
Oh,
that's the thing. You have to go all the way back
and
before
then
the
he did.
BET Awards.
And then he didn't even talk about an actual date. He was like, you know what? She was looking at me a little bit, and and I just, went the other direction. And it was like, dude. So he still didn't give no information, but that was enough to satisfy the
And
interviewer.
who's the chick with the blue eyes from
I don't
Destiny's Child?
know. I didn't know there was a blue-eyed chick in Destiny's Child. I was going to go to Chat GPT because I don't know what the hell he's talking about.
Yeah.
Hold on, Kay, say her name again.
Was it Latavia?
Did
Remember they
Lat-
had the light skinned girl back in the day?
right.
Yeah, did they? Because then they switch around a little bit.
I was trying to play it.
I'm trying to think. It could be
I was trying to put it
Latavia.
at the same. I will press it. So you playing a clip?
I'm sorry, darling. Say that one more time.
You playing a clip now? The YouTube at the top.
That's me right now. That's a live stream.
Okay, you playing that right now on your side?
Yeah, I played it on my side on YouTube.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. I pressed it at the top, but I can't hear it while y'all talking in the room. So should I? Are you playing that right now off your phone?
Yeah, if you click it and actually go to the actual YouTube and just I could play the clip again of what Ter- what Terrence Howard said.
The one with the blue eyes is Farrah Franklin.
Farrah Franklin. Farrah Franklin is her name. Farrah Franklin. Hold on. I'm almost scared to look this up. Hold on. Let me just do this.
She was only there for like 6 months from what I'm reading. I think it was the girl that was the quick turnout. She was probably in like 2 music videos. She was definitely in the what's it, the Bills or the yeah. Yeah, she was in the
She got light eyes.
Bills.
She does not have blue eyes. What the hell is he talking about, bro?
Let's see. Okay, Farrah Franklin. Um, how do I say this and not get canceled at the same time? Although I don't care about getting canceled.
Yeah,
I just want to.
she got light colored eyes. She don't have no blue eyes. That's what really sick me. I was like, blue eyes. Like I would have remembered that.
Okay, I'm going to. Okay, I think I'm gonna play two videos. I'm gonna play this first video right here.
You are stupid. You are stupid. And don't forget, you are stupid.
And a little bit of foot to your jaw.
Man, you was super kick.
Bruh, man, you chose her over Beyonce. We need
Why
you
not?
to
Why not?
get on the. Goodbye. Almost ended this damn stream.
What dude? Why not? Brother, every man's got his own thing.
What did she? Okay,
You acting like
boy,
I
I
don't know,
got
man.
some things to
But you
say
so you
about light skinned men and their lack of discernment, but I am
wow,
going
you
to
made a
save
light
that
skin
for
thing.
another day. I am going to save that for another day. Woo! We're
Yo,
going.
well, yo, hold on, Chris, man. How you gonna judge another? You can't tell another man what to like and what not to like. Body language, because we weren't there. You ain't never met Beyonce in real life. You was looking at images, right? But I'm gonna tell you something, man. People look different in real life. And her body language, whatever, maybe the way she smelled. There's a lot of different things that attract us to a woman. You know.
Listen, I'm not the biggest
So
Beyonce.
so
I'm
so
not.
all men should choose Beyonce over everybody else at this. I mean, a lot of us like Kelly over Beyonce. So I
I
mean,
don't
what
mind
do
Kelly. Kelly's a great option. If you choose Kelly Rowland over Beyonce, nobody's gonna be mad at you for that.
I don't know. Nah, don't say nobody. Some people are.
Yeah, let them be mad. That chocolate goddess. Fuck you mean shit. Let me calm down. Let me calm down.
He's like, let me calm down. Shit. Oh, on a side note, A Marie is she's newly single, so that's the thing.
I wish he had a body. Stop. Stop. Stay focused. Ladies and gentlemen, that was quick hits. Okay. Let's actually, this is the BTSI show. I'm your host, Christopher J. Thank you guys for tuning in. We're going to actually take a detour real quick. Cowboy, mute your mic because I know how you are with conversations like this. I want to talk to K-Slay real quick. K-Slay, you there, sweetheart? All right, so let me make sure this is turned all the way up. Make sure we can hear you. China, can you, K-Slay, do a mic check real quick? Mic check. Okay. Yeah, yeah. Just fix the volume a little bit, but I think you're good. So I want to have this conversation. K-Slay brought up an interesting perspective the other night that dare I say it rattles a lot of people's cages. See, I'm open to hearing something different, even something that is far left. As long as you're able to properly substantiate it, we'll give it a shot. Now, K Slay, do you want to do you want to tell people what's your thoughts on people who are hypersexual, or do you want me to say it?
Well, you can say it because maybe you have a different like perspective from how it helped me too. So.
All right, and let me see, because for some reason I feel like this volume is a little bit too low. Let me see something. Okay, let's keep it. Let's put it on high.
Okay.
Okay. All right, let's do that. Okay, so ladies and gentlemen, K Slay brought we was shout out to Starscream. We was in his room last night. She made a comment about the idea that men men who are hypersexual are homosexual.
Yes.
Men who are hypersexual is homosexual. That is a K Slay quote, not a Christopher Joseph Aguirre quote.
Yes.
All right, just making sure because they were like, Chris, what the fuck you say? Not a damn thing. This is not my take. So
Yes.
I want you to expound on the idea that um men who are hypersexual is homosexual. I want you to tell me the where does this ideology come from and how did you get to that conclusion?
Well, one, it started from me just being interested in DL, right? People that hide their sexuality. And so I started following different pages on Instagram, and there's a guy on there, the DL Whisperer, where he has made a whole handbook on how to tell if someone's DL because he has experienced DL relationships for like the past 10 to 15 years. And some of the main points of it is hypersexuality and lack of sexual control. And when we look at some of the people that have been exposed in the past, those are, or even rumored to be, undercover, those are some of the things that they actually have. They've slept with a lot of women, they have a lot of babies. You know what I mean? Like they don't have a value on sex. So it's not to say that all men that are hypersexual are, homosexual, but it is to say that it's more likely than not.
Okay, so just to clarify, because the men's thirst to have sex on an extreme level, way above the norm, presents the possibilities of them being gay, correct?
Yeah, I mean, there are, of course, there's other factors, but I think that that is a main component.
Okay. What are the other factors that can be combined with that component?
It could be someone that is very short tempered. I think that sometimes men that are over masculine are also trying to prove themselves. So that also goes into like having a lot of sex with a lot of women because you're trying to be overly manly. I think some other things are also history of, you know, trauma in the past. I think that's a major component because for young men, just like we were talking about that, the whole conversation needs to be had, but for another day. But I think how a young adult is introduced to sex sets like a standard for how they view sex and how they value it. So I think if someone has been abused when they're young and they're confused about sexuality when it comes to that abuse, it can like create an issue later on that would be, leading towards being ashamed of your sexual preference or even your sexual urges. So you still want to take care of them, but you don't want everyone else to know.
Okay. So when does the component of desire or attraction to the not the opposite sex, the same sex come into play?
Well, see, to me, with the
Oh,
difference
much better with the
yeah,
other
I
one.
was in the
Thank you.
store and I had my headset on.
Okay. So
So
can I say I hate to do this to you. Let's so us start this again. So
okay,
so that way, because now I can hear you loud and clear, and I know my audience can hear you as well. So now you do believe that men who are hypersexual does show signs of being homosexual because of their sex drive and the urge is just not to only have sex with women, just to have sex in general, and they'll have sex with anything that includes men. Correct?
Correct. Correct.
Okay.
Because to me, I look at it and from the different things that I've saw, it's like the need to fulfill that urge is stronger than like the decision to choose the type of person. It's like they would do. You have people that do deal with animals, and you know what I'm saying, different things. So I think it's all based in those type of issues. You know, childhood traumas, trying to like keep down your actual urges and ashamed of actually feeling them. Um, yeah, I think it's like one of those nurture things. I think even if the thought was there, but you had confusion on how to figure out your sexuality, I think you would, be ashamed and want to be closeted.
Okay. So what? So let's test that because I get what you're saying. I don't agree with it, but I do understand what you're saying because I wanted to make sure I understood. So that way, if I was to ever had this conversation again with somebody, I could re-articulate your point. Not saying I agree with it, but I know where you're coming from. So
No.
I wanted to challenge that. But let's use me for example. Let's say if I have a high sex drive, but I also believe in monogamy. And let's say, just a hypothetical, just to let you know this, because I don't know if you have a boyfriend or not. And I'm only doing this out of respect to him. But let's say you and I was together and I have a high sex drive. That means you and I are probably gonna have sex multiple times throughout the day.
Right.
That wouldn't breed any idea, any form of homosexuality, correct?
No, because again, the point that you made was monogamous, right? The other point that I made where it leans towards the other side is a lack of sexual control. So I think that would be the opposite of someone that is monogamous.
Okay. And he left the room, and that's why I didn't invite him on stage because obviously he's a troll. Because dude said, "Hey, you too fat to have sex." Um, bruh, I don't know if you know who your father. I'm gonna be nice.
Why are you responding to that, kid?
I'm too fat to have sex. Hey man, if that's the case, then I am the. You know what? I am a virgin. I'm a God fearing man. I'm by myself. I don't get none. I'm not a player. I don't. No, I don't. You're right. You're right. I don't have sex. You're right. You guys absolutely right. But yeah. So to what you're saying, darling, because even with that,
Chris, can I back case lay up a little bit?
sure.
Wait, because I was gonna say I'm sending it to you in the back, in your back channel. Let me see if it'll work. But the little guideline thing that I was saying the guy came up with, I just sent you the link for that. But go ahead, darling. Okay, and I just want to back her up with some of the hyper sexual things that she said, right? And then it's the idea that men want to confuse the normie, the very elite. Well, men want to be, they want to confuse them, right? So so what they'll do is they'll filter a lot of women, right? They'll have sex with a lot of women, change them up, right? So that the other men would use claims like, oh, no, he can't be gay. You see all the baddies he be with? Or they'll use claims like, man, you seen that girl with that fat ass that he was hanging with? Oh yeah, he's not gay, or he has all different types and colors of women. He can't be gay. So they use like those type of things to substantiate whatever males form. Like even when you can catch them red-handed, and they'll take up for him by saying, and I'm not gonna say red-handed, but like skepticism, like of him leaving a nightclub with another man. And they'll say, okay, well, they were just probably eating dinner, or that's probably his homeboy, and things like that, because they see him with so many interchangeable women, and most of the time, probably really beautiful women. So I do feel like it's a smokescreen and a mask for, and not only do I feel like it, but I just wanted to back Kate by saying I have seen this and I've been on a lot of exposure pages, and that's exactly who fits the candidates. Like the people who fit it down to the core are the men who have the most women who seem to be the most masculine. And that's no knock at masculinity at all. It's a knock at womanizers, it's a knock at hyperaggression, and it's a knock at all of hypersexual hyper hypersexuality, and it's a knock at things like that. And I do believe what Kay Slay has a lot of validation to it. What she said is very valid. Because of also my research and personal experience. I'm going on mute. And then also to add to also why I truly kind of believe this, and somewhat when I interact with certain groups of men, I like try to put it to test. But I saw a study one time that said the human brain, when the human brain can rationalize something to itself, like if you say, I'm really not that big. I'm just a little plump. You like anything that you can rationalize in your brain, you don't see it as a lie. And so I think over the years, more and more men engage in homosexual activity as well as homosexual thoughts. But because of certain, well, I was in jail. I just did what I needed to do at the time. Or, well, I didn't touch them. They touched me. Like they are doing all of these things to rationalize it in their mind. But truly, it is homosexual activities.
Now I went through the. Now I went through the. I just skimmed through it. Obviously, that's a definitely yeah, but at least he put a disclaimer out there. I'm glad that the person was responsible to put the disclaimer out there because that legally protects him from lawsuits. So good for him. Cowboy, what's your thoughts on what you heard?
It just seems like it seems like a personal attack, a personal thing. There's no science to back that up. In fact, most guys who the only thing I heard legit was childhood trauma, but then it sounded like the assumption was it's coming from males, and it's like most of the time it's coming from females. This is something that's starting to rise more and more. You know, where guys they're coming forward a lot more. A lot of guys come forward not even knowing that they were SA'd. We got into an argument with a guy on on Clubhouse one time, and he talked about how his mother's friend used to get his mother drunk. And she'd pass out drunk, and then she would creep into his room. He's 12 years old. She was in her 30s. And this is the same guy to this day has a different woman for every day of the week. You see what I'm saying? So yeah, a lot of that comes from men being introduced to sex too early, and there's this issue where there's the double standards where it's like, oh, he's okay because he's a male, especially if the female's attractive. You see when these teachers get locked up, you read the comments and people are like, man, people need to stop snitching. And it's like, she shouldn't be messing around with no little boys.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And then they will become, just runarounds. Some dudes, man, I mean, the outliers, I don't know what's going on with them, because if you have enough male friends, you do have a few friends that just run through women and they get married and then they're still doing it. And you're like, dude, like, what are you doing? You know what I'm saying? You ask the question and then sometimes they came and answered themselves, and then you have the guys who are cheated on themselves and then they're just on demon time, but homosexuality, no, sexuality doesn't come into play because even within that community, you get guys who run around, they don't sleep with women. They only sleep with men, but they run around with a lot of different men, so, cheating has nothing to do with sexuality. It has to do with the person, if that's what we're going to talk about. But, some men just really like sex. Some women just really like sex. And that's what it is, But I mean, Tiger Woods was running around, but that's because this is a guy who didn't understand what it, nobody prepared him. Like, who could prepare you to have that kind of money and then suddenly have access to women that he normally wouldn't have access to,
Right.
So
No, right.
he wasn't running around with no dudes, but he was running around with some questionable looking women. So I don't know. It's just What bothers me is in our community, here in America, everything a black man does leans towards homosexuality now,
Right,
and
and that's
to the point where, you know, when my homie came down from Boston, and we went to, he said, "Hey, I know this sister from Boston. She opened up a bar down here." So we go to the bar, supporting her, and we chilling, we talking to the bartender, this, that, and the third. And some woman who doesn't even know us, that she was some white man, she got her white man with her, decides to ask us if we're together. And I didn't know what the hell she was talking about. I said, "Well, we drove separate vehicles to get here, but we met here and we're hanging out together." She's like, "No, you together?" I said, and I was like, "Huh?" I said, "Why the hell would you ask me that?" And then she said, "Well, you got to ask." I said, "But isn't that your man?" I said, "Why would you be asking?" Like, I was like, "Why would you even assume that?" And I said, "Look, we from Boston. We don't do that. So stop talking to me like that." You know what I'm saying? But it should have never had to have been that. You know what I'm saying? It's just, you can't do nothing. You drink from a straw. You gay, and if you do this, you gay, and you eat a popsicle, you gay, and it's just like, okay, it's just on and on and on and on. And our community wasn't like that. We didn't worry about those things back in the day. You
right.
know.
And also
So
when it comes to the attire, it's interesting because now that when it comes to fashion, people are starting to transition back to how they used to dress in the late 80s, early 90s. Like you go watch
I don't
watch
know, because I saw a video of a dude with his sagging pants, and he had on lace underwear under the sagging pants. It's
all
ga-
right,
it's
yeah,
it,
that's true.
it's game over. They're already wearing the YSL belts. I don't know what's going on, man. I'm older, so I don't know.
Yeah, that's good. That's wild. Go ahead, K Slay.
Okay, so even with that being said, do you think, like they say, the easiest way to hide something is to put it in plain sight? And so on my
Hmm.
end, as a black woman, when we look at numbers of STDs and STIs, is coming from black women that are heterosexual having sex with black men. So I mean, sometimes there is a few numbers that do support this idea. And then on top of that, what's concerning is the actual straight men that don't see this as an issue. I understand how people can look at it as an attack on black men. That like, oh my God, everything you do is gay. I get that side of it. That's why sometimes I'm kind of choosy with who I tell the perspective to. But when I
Hmm.
think I'm around some of the men that are doing it, I definitely say it. But I also feel like I think that the straight men that are very masculine and secure in their sexuality are choosing to ignore it and act like it's not an issue. And it's somewhat like gaslighting women like it doesn't exist.
When they say it doesn't exist, exactly what the STD
That it's
rates?
DL men. And that there are a lot of men that are not only DL, but they are closeted homosexuals. Or, you know what I mean? Like they're in relationships with women and they are not making it clear that they are both attracted to men and women.
Yeah, those men.
Yeah,
Those. Go ahead, darling.
yes, and I love what you said, K Slade, because what we're missing is we're talking about a set subgroup of men, right? We're not talking about all homosexual men or all men who are hypersexual being homosexual. We're talking about a subgroup of men who happen to be DL and hypersexual at the same time, right? Not the proof.
So, Kay, to what you're saying, those
Are
men.
you gonna let me prove it? I was gonna read something to y'all because I wanted to prove it real fast,
Go ahead.
right? Okay, so I'm gonna prove this from this text I am reading, right? The down low subgroup. Research indicates that some down low men, defined as men who have sex with men, MSM, but identify as heterosexual, do engage in secretive, high risk sexual behavior. However, these men constitute as a specific subgroup, not the majority of hypersexual men. I'm going to mute.
Okay, so we know that those type of men who engage in those activities exist. Now, the only time I hear us men say that bisexual men don't exist is only because we're calling them gay. What are they
No,
just
no, no,
what?
no. See, again, that's where I think the confusion comes in because
Okay,
bisexual is a certain thing, and there are men that do identify themselves as such,
that is
right?
correct. That is
What I
correct.
am solely speaking to is exactly what Darlin said. I am only talking about like these things that I'm putting in as factors or, telltale signs. I am only speaking about DL men.
Okay. those men do
I
exist.
will, I will say this, and I don't know why most people haven't, don't know about this stuff, but get there's medication for the HIV to prevent you from getting it.
Correct.
You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? It's like, and they just came out with a newer one that you only have to do twice a year. The other one, you got to do the shots every 2 months. This one's every 6 months. You know,
Mhm.
I don't care if oh, this person's heterosexual, so they clean it. Nah, it doesn't, because it doesn't work like that. That virus does not care. I understand about the risk and the odds and all this other stuff, but you only need to be wrong once. You see what I'm saying?
Right.
And you're not going to always be able to tell who's sleeping with who and whether they're sharing drug needles and in their eyeballs or whatever the heck they're doing that's putting you at risk. And so you want to be able to trust the person if you're looking for a life partner, you want to be able to trust the person you're with. If you're just out there having fun, you definitely need to, get your protection on. You know what I'm saying? So that's why I got my shots, because I know I'm going to Thailand this year, and who knows what's going to happen when I'm out there.
Jesus. Jesus. Jesus.
But
I mean,
again,
I don't plan on nothing happening, but I may meet a chick,
You
but I
might
don't
need
know.
to plan on something happening to protect
But
yourself. What you mean?
But I'm just saying, I may meet a woman, and who knows where she's been. You understand what I'm saying? So,
I get it.
so,
I
but
get it.
but
so
that's
my
where I
point.
would throw out the idea that even
Well,
when
go
you
ahead.
think about the shots that you can get and all of that, there are people that when they lose their virginity contract HIV, that get some type of
That's right.
STD or STI that they cannot get rid of for the rest of their life. So I totally understand the take you're given, but again, to me, that is bleeding into the idea that black men that are heterosexual just want to ignore this issue.
Oh no, we're definitely
No,
not ignoring.
ignore.
Hold
Well,
on, Capo. Hold on,
You
Capo.
brought up you brought up, especially HIV. And what I'm saying is, especially since it's so high in our community, it's mostly the homosexual community, but it's within our community too, amongst
No, but that's
heterosexuals.
what I
And
guess
I'm
that's what
like,
I'm arguing.
so that's why I was saying, like, we gotta protect ourselves, and they don't really tell us about these medications that protect ourselves. So that's just a PSA. I mean, everybody could do what
Yeah,
they want.
Right, right. That's
I
all. That's all
agree.
he's saying. It's like regardless of what you do. Okay, so what he's saying is regardless of what you do, you need to protect yourself. Matter of fact, this kind of goes into the conversation, the five components conversation that we're about to have in a minute. What he's saying is have some. If you're going to be it's bad enough you might be engaged in a certain reckless activity. Have the decency to protect others.
Yourself and others. And I get that part, and that's what I'm saying. I'm not disagreeing with, right? And the part I was saying that I think black men are ignoring is the fact that you can have a woman that takes all of the precautions. She's only had 3 partners. She's been in a monogamous relationship. She is loyal, and these things still can come about. That's all I'm getting. Like,
Oh no,
that's the only point.
no, I get it. I get it. And with your take, like I said, I don't I get I have a better understanding of what you're saying now. So it is not the guaranteed that hypersexuality means you are homosexual. However, what you're saying is at, if you add a couple of components to it, there's a strong possibility where a man could be a maybe bisexual. Let's use the right terminologies. He may be.
I think what she's saying is that DL men are hypersexual, right? So that's the subgroup set of people, right? So, and this is how you can tell that their DL is
Oh, and I
because
can understand
when
that.
they're
You know,
having
and
sexuality.
I could definitely say that I could say that because I have a better understanding that if you if you are DL, there's a strong chance that you are hypersexual. Not hypersexuality means you're DL. So I get that.
And also with again separating the DL men from the bisexual men, because in order for a man to be bisexual, he has to identify himself as such. Exactly. Right? And with that, it's like that is the part that's concerning. You're not even identifying yourself through what your attraction is. And so there is a separation. I don't see like because a bisexual man can still have sexual discipline. You
Right.
see what I'm saying? What I'm going back to is the lack of sexual discipline that will put them in that little cubby that most likely they may be leaning towards DL.
Gotcha. Gotcha.
100%. Can I add one more component to this because it was something important that he said, and what the problem is with this is that it oftentimes, can you still hear me?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, it oftentimes leave other people in distress. They leave two parties out hanging, and harm other people and lie to, because that's what makes them DL and both hypersexual, to get their way in sex, right? So those are the things that make it very dangerous, the misleading, the lies, and the fact that you're going to harm. You don't care if you harm people. You don't care if you hurt people. You don't care if you medically destroy people. You just want your way sexually.
No, I get that. Totally get that. And I appreciate it. K Slade, thank you. Thank you. Because I'm glad you came in the room because I wanted to actually have that conversation with you, but I was busy that night, so I couldn't really engage. And I understand who you was talking to, so I could understand how the messages could have got lost. But they're good people. I
No,
rather
but thank you for looking for clarification because I think it sometimes people hear it and they just want to argue it versus understand it.
no, we're definitely here with this. So I appreciate that. Thank you. Thank you so much. Ladies and gentlemen, this is the BTSI show. I'm your host, Christopher J. Thank you guys for tuning in. We're broadcasting live from YouTube, Facebook, Twitch, and Clubhouse. Got the day off today. I was supposed to do something, but something's changed, and I didn't really feel like going back to work. So I said, let me do my do my thing on Clubhouse, but let me add a camera to it. Shout out to my audience. Y'all see. For those who are ever curious about how I actually look, because people on Clubhouse, you don't really know who these people are behind these PTRs. If you click the link up top, you can see my face. So somebody who has seen my face before. Content was just here. Content was here. He'll be back later. Did a y'all know content. I did a one-on-one interview with him a few years back, and one of my favorites is here. How you doing, sweetheart? Is Alita by her phone? No, she's not. And I know she's gonna be about like, how come I ain't shout you out? I did. You was not here, sweet baby. But let's get into the conversation. My guy Cowboys here. Now, that was an interesting conversation we had moments ago because now we can get to the five components. What are the five components? This is something that just I was thinking about one day, it just came to my head. So, when it comes to what is the number one thing that women try to hold men to do, or what's that one thing that you hear men talk about that they bring to the table all the time? And fellas, like I said, it's 2026, ain't shit changed. Don't ask no woman what she's bringing to the table, or what you bring to the table. Don't use that verbiage in 2026. I'm not playing. Protection. Protection is the number one thing that you will always hear about what a man can offer someone to be his wife. He said, I always protect my family. What does that look like? There's like, I'm willing to fight, I'm willing to shoot, and I'm willing to kill. I was like, okay, that sounds like physical protection. There's like, that's right. I said, all right, cool, congratulations. What else? And them and the females that is trying to get on their plans be like, what do you mean, what else? All we need them to do is protect us because black women are the least protected in America. It's actually black children, but we'll talk about that another day. So I said, yeah, that's one thing that they are doing, but I'm asking what other things can they do besides physically protect? They can still protect, but what else? They be stumped. They try to act like they didn't hear me ask my question. Cowboy knows how people get when they can't answer a straight question. Be the most annoying shit in the world. I'm not even gonna hold you. I said, you guys brought up physical. What about mental protection? And you get people who want to side eye me or look at their phone like, what's this dude talking about? What's mental protection? I'm looking like you don't know how to protect somebody mentally. There's like, there's no such thing. I said, do you know how to mentally protect yourself? They was like, what are you talking about? I was like, oh, you're lacking. I was like, you're strong, you're severely lacking. I tell people when it comes to protection, even when it comes to abuse, there's five components: physical, mental, emotional, spiritual, and financial. Those are your five components. How do you physically protect somebody with those? Oh, excuse me. How do you protect yourself or your significant other with those five components? Word is in the building. What's good, word?
Yo, what's the word?
Chilling, man, chilling. So physical protection is easy. I think we can all agree to that shit.
No.
As in, what does physical protection look like? Not that you can do it, but you know what it is.
Yeah, you know what it is, and I would say that a lot of men those five components that you're breaking it down, but a lot of guys are doing it, they're not thinking about it. Every time they give advice or something of that nature, hey, maybe that's not your friend, or you know yeah, all those are forms of protection, but no one's really breaking it. Well, I won't say no one, because I'm sure some psychologist somewhere has broken it down too, but um typically people are not thinking about it like that. No, no. Okay, can you hear me now?
Yeah, I have to mention because I think you had a lot of feedback on your microphone. So you can come off mic and try again. Let me see if it works.
No, something's wrong.
All right, go ahead, just do a reset. Come right back. So with that, is we can all identify what physical protection looks like for the most part. Whether we can do it or not is a conversation for another day. But we all know what it looks like. What is mental protection? How do you highlight mental protection? Because before you can protect somebody, you need to learn how to protect yourself. You have to physically protect yourself. That's easy. I will hope that's easy. Learn how to fight, know how to fight, defense maneuvers. You need to use a weapon. What you got to do? Physical protection. Easy. Mental protection. You understand that there are certain images, certain words that that can be stuck in one's brain, and it's hard to get rid of, especially by yourself. You might need to go get some external help with that as an option. But as far as mental protection, it's all about making sure the processes of your brain are not being compromised by things that can affect everything else about you. You need to be on one's A game. Your brain has to be right. Your mental needs to be on point. A lot of people have trouble doing that, especially when they go into these rooms on Clubhouse, when they go to these channels on YouTube, ladies and gentlemen. Some of the things that is being said, that is being articulated, or being displayed, can affect one's brain easily. And that transitions to the third one, which is emotional. Your heart, what happens in the brain transitions to the heart. Ladies and gentlemen, for example, there was some dude in the chat that said, I'm too fat to have sex. I'm going to be right back. By the way, let me do this. There we go. Yeah, someone said I'm too fat to have sex. That stuff doesn't that stuff doesn't bother me. I'm not gonna let that emotionally get me out of whack because number one, guess who loves themselves? First, God loves me. Let me get that out of the way. That's number one. Scream me, Lord. Number two, I love me. And quite frankly, if I had those two right there, there's nothing that can emotionally take me off my game. There's nothing you can say that's gonna get me off, especially about oneself. Something's wrong there. It's all good, bro. I'll bring you back up when you're ready. So on that format, I'm good. On top of that, There's people who actually like how I look from head to toe. I'm not gonna mention no names, but there's some people who likes how I look from head to toe, according and amongst other people's as well. Just throwing that out there. So clearly, I'm not too fat to be doing anything. I'm not too fat to be doing anything. I can get anything I want done with my size like this. So sucks to be you, my boy. Shout out to the skinny people who don't get the results that I have. You know what? Let me be nice. I'm gonna keep it moving. I'm sorry. That was mean of me. I apologize. I don't want to mess up. I don't want to affect somebody's mental component or the emotional component. So let me continue. Spiritual protection, ladies and gentlemen. Spiritual protection. You're not going to compromise my spirit. You're not going to compromise my belief system. You're not going to compromise my foundation. Okay, Cowboy made it back. Good. And because I'm A1 in that, that is protected by God, the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit. God already got me. And as long as I follow by that, I'm good. That is protected. And the last thing, financial protections. How do you protect somebody financially? It's easy. Money has a job to do. That dollar in your pockets, that dollar in your bank account, it already has a job to do. Meaning, what does your finances look like? What's the allocations of your funds going to, your budgeting, that type of stuff? You make money, you put it to work. El Jefe is on the stage. What's good, my brother? How you feeling? And that's how you handle money. This right here that you see as my backdrop on YouTube, which is just my living room, by the way. Just throwing that out there. Just the backdrop, this production that I got right here, money has to somewhat go into it for it to be a thing. So for me to protect all of this, make sure that my dollar has a job to do. I have $5,000 of expenses, which means I need to put $5,000 to work. Go go pay the rent. Go pay that car note. Go do this. Go do that. Go put money to the side so you can start traveling. Just that's the idea of financial protection. Now, when you add all of these up, now you have the full level of protection of oneself. And if you know how to protect yourself, ladies and gentlemen, you now know how to protect your wife. You now know how to protect your husband. You now know how to protect your children. You now know how to protect the remainder of your family. You know how to protect your community, so on and so forth. Protection, ladies and gentlemen, is just not physical, mental, emotional, spiritual, financial. And just like that's on the protection side, abuse on the opposite side. I can physically abuse you. I can mentally abuse you. I can emotionally abuse you. I can spiritually abuse you by attacking your belief system and your foundation. And financial, forget about it. You already know what time it is. Those five components that can protect you can also be your downfall, ladies and gentlemen. If I like, let's say me, K
So is
say, go ahead, cowboy.
the mic good now?
Perfect.
Yes, I switched to Big Blue over here. Got off the
Gotcha.
phone. But anyways, yeah, a lot of people, they just go about their business. They don't. It's not like you got a whiteboard up and you're checking things off to make sure that did I do this protection and did I do it today or whatever's going on. The only thing, the financial protection may not be you having, money in your account at all, you know, because a lot of people, they make a lot of money and they may even have money in their account, but if you balanced all the, their debt and everything else, they're really broke. So that financial protection may come from advice, just like even the physical protection could come from advice. A lot of guys, you know, and I think we romanticize the idea of, jumping in front of danger and, wrestling the Rottweiler to the ground while the women and children run, right? But sometimes that physical advice can just be like, hey, you probably don't want to go that way because they got a loose Rottweiler down there. You see what I'm saying? And that's a form of protection too. So um, the only reason I'm kind of going against the financial part a little bit is because I think a lot of dudes focus on it too much. They focus too much on having enough money, you know, and they're not thinking about the enter because let's face it, nowadays most people are not able to support an entire family, on their own. Most men can't do it, and so it's going to take two. And actually, it's not just nowadays. It's always kind of been like that. You know what I'm saying? That it's I think TV in America and movies in America has us thinking that there was always somebody home not working, and I don't think that's ever been the case, really. So um, I think people can make it work, and you don't have to have thousands of dollars stacked, in order to provide that protection. But you
Oh,
definitely need.
Cowboy. Hey, Cowboys doing it. Heads up is doing it again. I'm just letting you know right now that it's doing that thing again.
Okay. I don't know what that is. I don't know what that is. That stream, or I don't know if it's StreamYard or what. Did it clear up?
Um, no,
Because I
not
can hear it
not
coming
yet.
from your side also.
That might be StreamYard.
Okay. But yeah, just financial literacy is very important for financial protection. I'll say that.
Right. I totally agree. Let me see. Can I? Oh, that's low. That we can X out of that. Um, hopefully it's not bad on my side on YouTube. So let me check that out real quick. But yeah, don't totally get what you're saying, man. So I do appreciate that because there's other forms of protection, abuse, and I don't have a problem with what you said, especially on the financial side. One thing that people need to, I just saw some bullshit. I'm sorry. I'm not even going to acknowledge that bullshit. I'm just going to leave it alone. But yeah, one thing about these components that I'm having in place is you can't just do one without doing the others. You have to do everything. And that's why I having this conversation because people think if you do one form of hold on real quick. Uh, hold on real quick. Okay, it's not that bad. Okay, it's not that. All right, perfect. Yeah, it's not that bad, so we're good. Um, when it comes to these five components, a lot of people like to focus on one thing and forget about the other. Because you don't know when you're actually protecting somebody. Ladies, this go for you guys too. Regarding what it be your significant other, when it comes to your children, especially, um, you think because you're not physically harming them that you're not emotionally killing them inside. If you're emotionally attacking them, you're going to carve out a space in their brain that they're always going to go back to and remember down the road. It never fails. It never fails, especially when something is ongoing like that at the house. So once because this is one thing I tell people. Matter of fact, I'm gonna say this, and this is gonna be deemed controversial. Y'all know I don't care. I think verbal when it comes to children, fathers, mothers, I think verbal abuse does far more damage than physical abuse. Yes, I said it. Though, because some people think spanking is a form of abuse. And I always tell people, you don't know the difference between physical discipline and physical abuse or assault. We're not having this conversation. So, with that being said, one thing I do want to say is this: you don't want to. You think spanking is physical abuse? I disagree. But let's go with that real quick. You cussing out your child, you insulting your child does more damage than what that belt can ever do. and I stand by that. And I dare somebody to challenge me on that. Sorry, I don't mean to sound like Archie, but I dare someone to
I,
challenge me on that.
we don't have to challenge, but the where me and you go in different directions is both are abuse. And so people who think that they need to be physical with their children to raise them, it's because they don't know any better. And that's just a fact of life. A lot of our parents they just didn't know any better. They just did things the way they were raised. But black people, you know, and even in Native American people, those of you who are more Native American than from the continent, that's not how they raise children. Children are always seen as a blessing. It was the white European man that introduced, corporal punishment, around the world, and now it's become the norm. Now I will say that when children get a certain age, they kind of know better. So if you got a teenage son that want to try to puff up his chest at you, maybe you got to take him to the backyard and flip him.
See, California. No, 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 no. We ain't
I
doing
didn't
that
say
because
I
every
didn't
time
say
we
beat
do
him
that, we give
down.
mamas a chance to go upside
I,
our heads
I,
and cave my chest in. No, no, no.
I didn't say beat him down, Chris. I said you just because
You
this
know,
is where,
mamas want to beat their kids down. They've been waiting for them to get a
but
little bit
but
muscle
but
behind
the
this.
but the interaction between father and son is different because you got two, you got you got the elder man in the household, and then you got the younger one coming up, and then a lot of guys, they were so afraid of their fathers they just never tried them, but it's not uncommon for sons to try their fathers, and then it's just like, okay, let me show you that I still got it, and so again, you don't bloody them up, you just show them like, hey, this is what it is, you know what I'm saying. um but yeah, the verbal stuff is very dangerous, like you said. You know what I'm saying? Um, because it kind of sticks with you. If a child grows up hearing, you a dummy, what are you doing, stupid, and this that, like that's gonna have an effect, on how they go forward in life. You know what I'm saying? That's gonna become a major hurdle if that's how they're treated. You know, and so so you're right about that. I just think both are abuse, but I think that a lot of people there's a lot of people that surprisingly don't see verbal abuse as abuse, and it is, you know, especially when you're dealing with young children.
Absolutely, I totally agree with the verbal abuse. Now, as far as spankings, that is that the first option? Obviously not. There's so many things that you can that's going to lead up to physical discipline. Even with my son, that whole talking thing, it is cool at first, but if it's a repeated behavior, it's like, all right, you know, you left me with no other option now. So, ironically, things get done when the bell comes out. But also keep in mind that had to be in combination with that conversations leading up to it, during and after it. So that's why I always say I know the difference between physical discipline and physical abuse, but I can also say that, ladies, here's something that we can prove for the most part when it comes to these scars, ladies and gentlemen, that these physicals disciplines. Well, let me say this because some kids were physically abused, so let me not act like that didn't happen because that would be irresponsible. But when it comes to the actual discipline part, those healed up. That thing that your mama called you still hurts, don't it? That thing that your daddy said, that was very disrespectful and it bothers you. All of that stuff still hurts to this day for some people. And I understand. That's why I said I could prove that your verbal abuse does far more damage than your physical abuse. Because verbal abuse, because the verbal abuse, the name calling, that affects your mental, that affects your emotional, and it can also compromise the spiritual as well. So that's why I always let people know the five components. There's five components that can protect you. There's also five components of abuse as well. And I always tell people, do not, when it comes to protection, do not ignore not one step. That's my take on that. To the stage, Lolita, are you there? I should. And Lolita's a worker, a hard worker, so I understand she probably just here to support me. This is why I love her. K Slay, Cass, Diabolical. What's you guys' take on the conversation that y'all heard?
Hey, I'm here. I've been in and out, but I heard the like what was it? The mental stability and financial stability. Like those were the things that you were saying were the five components of the protection, right?
Mm-hmm. Yep. Physical, mental, emotional, spiritual, and financial.
Yeah. I definitely agree because I think you know how they say be very specific when you make your list or your prayer or whatever it is you
Mm-hmm.
believe in to manifest your partner. There's been times in the past where I wouldn't look at all of those categories. You're just like, make sure he fine, make sure he got some money, and then you like, but he don't protect me mentally. But you know what I mean? So I do think it's important to highlight it because there's definitely been times in my dating world where I have not taken into account all of those. I've only maybe two at a time, and I'm like, damn, and wondering why the relationship don't work out.
Nah, I get it. And also, that can also be a good practice for choosing a mate. Can and women, this fellas, this goes for y'all too. Finding somebody that can protect you physically, mentally, emotionally, spiritually, financially. Now, some people gonna say, how can a woman protect a man financially? I can think of a million one reasons, respectfully.
If she's an accountant,
That's the ultimate protection. You good money right there. She ain't gonna bother your money. That's how
Even
it.
though black women spend a lot, sometimes the woman might be more financially literate or even more of a saver than the man. So she could help him out too.
Maybe,
yeah,
maybe.
that's why I said an accountant. Not I wasn't
Yeah.
saying it because she's instantly making a lot of money, but because she might have a degree in accounting and not use it in the workforce, but she knows how to move money around. And so now she's like,
Hmm.
yeah, you don't want to do that because your taxes are going to be jacked up, and this is how you want to position yourself. So, yeah, if she's financially literate, then she can protect the money.
That's right. So yeah, if you get yourself an accountant, ladies, gentlemen, congratulations. You just got a form of protection right there. Uh,
Yes, sir. Give me a banker.
this one right here is crazy. Cass, you there? Cass, Cass away from the phone, but that's cool. But like, I really enjoyed the conversation. This conversation and the hey, Cass, how you doing?
Just remaining, but
Okay, what's your take on? I know you came in a little bit later, but we're just going over the five components, which is physical, mental, emotional, spiritual, and financial. Because when it comes to people talking about protections, I think they need to take all five of those into consideration. And if people are being abused, they need to be aware of those five components because those can be used against them as well. What's your take on that?
I agree. That sounds really smart. That you should be aware of all five components and what how someone could abuse you in those ways. It's actually a really smart take. I have no further comment because it's just that was just the smartest thing I've heard on here in a minute, hot minute.
Oh wow, I appreciate that. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I'll be trying. I'll be trying. I'll be hitting it out the park every now and then. But appreciate that, Cass. Thank you. Joy, how you doing?
Hi, Christopher. Hi. So I just walked in and I haven't, heard the YouTube. So I don't know whether I should go listen or something. But if you wanted to just put it very, very briefly when you say what is BTSI, I did hear the part where you said protect yourself in five different ways,
Mm-hmm.
including spiritually. But just a quick context to that.
Well, with that, oh, the link up top is we're simulcast. So if people don't want to hear me, they want to see how I look, they can click the link and I'm right there. But when I'm with this, when it comes to protection and abuse, there are five components. I do believe, listen, on the abuse side, I do believe you can be physically abused, obviously, also mentally, emotionally, spiritually, and financially, you can be abused. However, so when it comes to protection, you can also use those as well. So I tell people,
Sorry, what I meant by context is, are you talking in terms of a certain kind of relationship, like a romantic relationship only, or is this applies to everything in life?
it applies to everything in life.
Yeah, because abuse can be in any relationship, right? Especially the emotional abuse. Abuse.
Correct.
Yeah. Mm.
Correct. And also, even as parents, we have to be careful. Put the physical abuse. That's a given. But even when we have conversations, or not conversations, when we're angry, we're just talking to our children any type of way, and the scar, not knowing that those scars going to take a lot longer to heal, versus if you was to get a spanking. So definitely not in the aspects of a romantic relationship, just in general, any relationship or even with yourself at first. Because I do think when it comes to protection, you got to learn how to protect yourself before you even think about protecting others.
Right. And in protecting yourself, you could be protecting yourself from, one of the closest relationships, like from since when you're born. And if it's the more emotional kind, it gets subtler and subtler, right? Because not everybody's overt and out. They're not screaming or yelling, but the abuse can be obviously more subtle and more manipulative. So then the question of protection seems to become more interesting and more important.
No, I totally agree. Totally agree. I appreciate that submission, Joy. Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you. I was wondering, like, do you mention some particular way to sort of do that? Um, you've given like, 5 areas in which to do it, right?
Mm-hmm.
But when the ties are so close, and like I said, the whole thing is very subtle. It's kind of, I don't want to say deeply ingrained or something like that, but it's like it's not something that you detach from that easily, kind of thing, right? And since you're talking about this, you must have said something specific about it, and I'm kind of really curious to hear that. Sure.
No, I appreciate that. And the reason why like I said, the reason why I brought this up is because when people talk about being a protector, they always highlight the physical part. Or even when it comes to abuse, they say as long as I don't physically hurt you, you'll be fine. It's like, no, you guys are. I say, ladies and gentlemen, we're getting this all wrong. There's other aspects to consider, and my thing is, why why just stop at one space? Why settle with the idea of, okay, I got this one part right, so I'm good? No, there's more. Why not unlock potentials that you didn't think was there? So instead of being stagnant, be greater than what you are. So let me see other ways to mentally protect myself. How not to affect emotionally compromise my well-being. And as far as spiritual, what is your religious, your spiritual beliefs, your foundation? Get in tune with that. And obviously, as adults, financial being financial. Oh, I forgot. I just had a brain fart. What does it say?
Freedom.
Financial freedom. Yeah, financially literate. If there's a way to financially to protect yourself. And one thing I highlight is every dollar needs to be working for you. Every dollar has a job already in your household. How your bills are around. What aspirations do you have in the future, especially depending on what nation that you're in, how the economy is, how you're going to protect yourself. And one thing I always tell people, every dollar you make, take 30 cents and go put it in some type of savings or an investment account, which is one thing I always tell people. That's another form of protection. Every dollar has a job to do. Make sure it gets to work. So that's one thing I wanted to highlight. Oh, go ahead, John. I'm sorry.
I was just acknowledging.
Thank you. Thank you. And y'all, that was, and ladies and gentlemen, that is it for the show. Do I want to do? Yeah, well, I'll keep it on the YouTube part, but Clubhouse, we're gonna go ahead and shut down. Dude, K Slay, I appreciate you what you did earlier. You're good in my book. You can come back to my room anytime. So thank you for that. I
Nah,
appreciate
thank
you.
you for having me. I appreciate being able to explain it.
No worries, no worries. Clubhouse, it's been real. I'll see you guys tomorrow. BTSI Show, Christopher J. Talk to y'all later. Peace out. All right. And we are still rolling live on YouTube, Facebook, and Twitter. Ladies and gentlemen, this is the BTSI Show. I'm your host, Christopher J. Thank you guys for tuning in. My guy Cowboy is still here. We got
Yes.
one last thing before we go. Now, I don't have a problem with Clarissa Shields. Let me go ahead and get that out the way.
Uh-oh.
Get that out the way. I have no problems with her. She is who she is. She talks her shit. I get it. And one thing as a fighter is if you don't believe in yourself, nobody will. But delusion is still a thing. Don't give a damn what anybody says. Clarissa Seal was on Nightcap the other night, and she said this regarding Raleigh Romero.
So you saying that if it's money and belt on the line, and I got me a 2 or 3 month camp, you telling me that Rolly gonna knock me out up in what round?
Rolly gonna beat you. Yes, yes, Rolly would stop you. Yes, Rolly would stop you. Yes, I believe Rolly would stop you.
You are nuts. But I love that for you, because when you don't know boxing, you just don't know boxing that well. And you don't know me that well. But I will say this, I've never went inside the ring with anybody and been just...
So can I ask you a question,
hey,
Clarissa?
Here go my chin, hit me right in the... Come on now. Did you not see the defense and the offense in my last fight?
Can I ask you a question, Clarissa?
Can you answer the question? Did you not see the offense and defense?
That was against Franchon. This is Rolly, a 3-division champ.
I don't know why she keeps blurring the lines, because if they ever decided that they were going to blur the lines and mix it up, she would be one of the first ones talking about this isn't fair. You know, it's very dangerous for a woman to step into any kind of situation where she had, even volleyball. I mean, a woman got spiked in her face, you know, by a transgender athlete, and that pretty much ended her career. You know, we are way too strong, you know, for her to, I mean, if she wants to troll or whatever, man. But I mean, you know, or she wants to make the point of I'm a better technical boxer. But the idea that she's going to step in the ring and beat a man, like, she's not going to beat the average man. And that was something that, you know, that I actually learned from female fighters. You know, like a lot of female fighters, martial artists and such, they will not try to fight a man outside of them training, because they train with men, but they wouldn't try to step to the average man. Like they're like, the only reason I would do that is if, you know, it was a life or death situation, you know what I'm saying? Life or limb or whatever. But they know the difference between their strength and a man's strength, and their speed and a man's speed. Like an average, like 50, 60-year-old man could beat Clarissa. You understand what I'm saying? Just because he's a man. That's the difference between men and women. So I don't know what, I've never even seen the Rolly fight, and I don't have to.
Well, so, but wait, Cowboy. There's more.
Clarissa, even if he walks around at 180, if he walks around, let's just say for the sake of argument, if he's making weight at 147, I'm saying he's probably walking around at 160, 165. I'm going to be generous and say he's stripping between 15 and 20 pounds off. Even at 155, 165, his body still produces more testosterone as yours.
Nobody ever said I was stronger than Rolly. I never said that. You said that. I am
So
telling you off of pure boxing. Look, Deontay Wilder had 41 knockouts. He getting there with a pure boxer like Tyson Fury and lose. This is men to men, but I am telling you, skill to skill, skill to skill. You are not looking at skill to skill, man. You're just not, because you can't, because you too macho.
But
that's
you
just
looking at Rolly, you looking at Rolly like he's.
Man, it was super kick.
What's going on, bro? You know what I'm saying? So now she's talking skill to skill, but the way she's talking about this man is like he ain't shit. So I don't know why she be running her mouth, man. I seen her fight. She don't move like, she's not impressive to me. The most impressive female boxer that I've ever seen was what's her name? Lucia Riker. Nope.
Who?
Nope. Oh, Ali dodged Lucia Riker. Look her up. Look her up. That she undefeated boxer, undefeated kickboxer. They called her the female Mike Tyson. She was in that movie $1 Million Baby too. But yeah, like women dodged her. She beat everybody, and it got to a point where she ended up fighting a dude. She ended up losing really badly. She ended up fighting doing a kickboxing exhibition match with a man because no women would fight her. You know, so that woman, the way she moves is so smooth and so sweet. And Clarissa's good, but you're only as good as your opponents. You know,
oh shit.
I don't know what the hell she's talking about here. You know, I think she needs to be a little bit humble, but you know, she got to sell the tickets too. You know, so it's part show business.
Oh my God. Jackie Bears thought she was talking about Rolly from Bad Girls Club. That is hilarious.
Oh, wow.
Last clip. There, I need to watch it. Oh my God. Last clip.
I am telling you that Rolly is skilled. He's not better skilled than me. And Ocho even just told you that. Ocho just told you that.
So I'm gonna ask Ocho.
Ocho just told you that.
So he's not as skilled as Clarissa. Do you believe Clarissa can beat him in a fight, in a sanctioned fight, a 12-round fight with 10-ounce gloves? Do you believe Clarissa could beat him?
That's what I explained in my first when I first said it. Are you going to be able to protect yourself in a 10-round fight and not get caught in exchanges?
What you gotta do is tuck your chin and keep your fucking hands up. What are we talking? I'm finna go in there. Oh, I'm finna go power for power with Rolly. Man, come on. You seen the jab in the fight. You seen the head movement. You seen the body work. And anybody that know, when you fight against somebody that's strong, you hit them where? The body. I'm going to Rolly's body early.
Where do you think he's going to hit you? Let me ask you a question. Where do you think he's going to hit you?
Everybody gets hit.
I want to fight you just on general principle.
And I can beat you.
Because I would kick your ass in front of everybody. And that's how much I do not believe in you. I see this, and then you talk, and I'm like, get the f out of my ring.
Dude, what is she talking about? I'm gonna go to the body, like he's gonna feel them punches. I mean, is she talking about scoring points like in some Olympic fight?
Which would make more, which almost makes sense. Like that's the only way you can actually win the fight is through point systems. That's the only thing that will make sense. You're not about to go at this person and think you're about to knock him out. Get that out your head right now. That is not happening.
But men are also we're also faster. We also we're faster. So how are you going to score the points and he's lighting you up? I don't get it. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know where she's coming from. Like, maybe she's talking about if you took her skill set and loaded it into a computer, and took his skill set and loaded it into a computer, and let the simulation just handle the skill sets.
God. Kensley said she's 30. Just chop it up to that. I'm cool. Totally understand. Like I said, as a fighter, if you don't believe in yourself, nobody will. But some things, just biology. My God. I would give, excuse me, I would give Clarissa Shields a shot against a non-trained male boxer. I will probably give her a shot against me. And the only way that she could beat me is obviously she's more active than I am. That's the only shot that I would give her is, can you go the 10 to 12 rounds boxing, which I know she can because she did that in her last fight. Granted, she should have knocked homegirl out, but that's neither here nor there. So that's the only way I can give her a shot against a non-trained male fighter. You're going with somebody who is just as active as you, if not more. Why would you do that to yourself? Especially if you're talking about somebody that's going to weigh between the weights of 140 and 180. It's like, come on, stop it now. And it's like, what weight division, what weight class are you guys going to fight in? So I'm going to calm down. I'm a little bit too passionate for this.
She want to forget about that Russian nobody who put her on her behind. You know what I'm saying? This is, and listen, 30, dude, that's old. That's old enough to know better. You know what I'm saying? She's not 18 and just coming out with some, Atomic Blonde movie theater thinking she could beat men. Like, she knows what it is because she trains with men. So I don't know why she says such things, except to, get people excited so she can get paid. You know what I'm saying? But I don't know. As long as she'll keep winning, as long as she doesn't believe her own hype. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, that's some of the most insane.
But she need to be focusing on getting a man that's not already married.
What are we doing? They minding their own business. He's minding his own business. He ain't doing nothing wrong. He is chilling. I think Papoose is the winner in all of this.
Listen, Papoose running between. Listen, man. If you got to lie that you're going to go over to your ex's place and you're like, oh, I'm going to go visit my mother.
Wait, how old is Papoose? Hold on.
He a young dude too.
Let's see. Okay. K-Slay says she needs to stay out the media. It's messing up her overall look. I get it because sometimes you just gotta let your hands do the talking. That's what that is. Let's see, Pep.
Oh, he's 48. I didn't know he's that old.
Okay, 48. Yeah, okay. So 48, so that's 24. I can't respect it. She's 1 year too young for him. I can't do it. I can't respect it. But that's just me. Yeah, that's just my that's just a me thing.
What do you mean 1 year too young? Dude, she's a whole 30 years old kid. That's what I said. He's not divorced from Remy. That's why I say she needs to focus on getting she needs to focus on getting a man that's actually single.
Excuse my language. The fuck are you talking? I don't want to hear that. I don't want to hear that.
Mm.
You are stupid. You are stupid. And don't forget, you are stupid.
You guys are
Chris,
really
you didn't know this?
smart. Hell no, I thought they really got the divorce.
Mm-mm.
Oh my God.
So there's always the chance that he can end up going back to Remy.
Hell no.
Listen, we saying hell no, but this dude, listen, and a
You
lot of
had
men do
Easy
it.
the black content all up in her mouth. No, thank you.
A lot of men, and like a lot of women don't like to admit this either, but a lot of men stick around even when a woman done cheated.
It would be one thing if, because regular folks, we don't know what our exes are doing, and for the most part, we just don't care. But when you talk about some public stuff, man, that's a different type of monster. Especially with their little encounter. Like, if I recall correctly, Papoose smacked your board. So yeah, like he has Clarissa, she has Easy the Block Captain, and I don't even know they still together. I'm not even gonna hold you.
No, she ain't with Easy. Easy ain't dealing with her no more. Remy just all around messed herself up, man. You know what I'm saying? Because Easy was never trying to be with her like that. But it's not the first time. I mean, she cheated on Papoose with an ex-cellmate. Yup.
Oh, so
this isn't even though that's a female, it still happened. And you know what Papoose talked about, it was that to me was the most disrespectful thing because of how she was treating their child when Papoose got to the house and the baby was on the floor and them two were in the bed. And I'm like, that would have been enough for me just to be out of there. You know what I'm saying? But
that'll be enough for me to shoot up the house. But Papoose for the win.
Yeah, man. So I mean,
Papoose for the win.
But Clarissa, I mean, somewhere along the line, someone didn't teach her, you know, you're worth it enough to make sure that these men are divorced. You know, not the promise of divorce. No, you're divorcing, but let me know when it's finalized and before we start moving forward. You know what I'm saying? And that is dude's deep into her relationship to the point where I think he's managing her boxing career. So, you know, I don't know. You know what I'm saying?
He's managing her boxing career.
Allegedly. So,
Jesus. Like I said, 30. If you've been walking all over that man for years, why stop?
Yeah, that's kind of this is the whole nice guys finish last kind of deal going on here.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
we putting them first. Damn that. Shout out to Papoose.
So now, you know, you could do a whole episode.
Make sure he gets his applause.
You could do a whole episode on this, Chris, but I've looked into it, you know, because it kept popping up on Instagram. There's some fine women in prison, so I kind of get it.
I'm not about to play with you.
I'm just saying, you know. So you're not going to do the research.
I'm not about to do no pen pals in prison. No.
You ain't got to do the pen pal thing. Here's what shocked me though, because as a man, I see a fine woman and she's, you know, she got her profile set up. And I'm like, oh, maybe she's in there because she's holding for her man. You know what I'm saying? You thinking some little stuff, right? Then you do the research and it's like, no, this chick doing 25 to life. She done took somebody out. She done deleted somebody. And they be on there smiling, looking so cute and innocent.
Nope.
They're not innocent, man. And then it reminds me of what my homie told me. He was a CEO when I was still living in Boston back in my younger years, and he was trying to get me to be a CO, and I was like, well, heck, I could go work in Framingham. So there's a Framingham prison. It's a women's prison. And he said, what you want to be over there for? I said, that's where the women are at. And he was like, they're in there for a reason. He ain't no good women in prison. So
he's not lying.
He's correct. You know, they look good, but you know,
they kill us.
They're in it, yeah, because we're talking convicted. We're not
Literally
talking about we're not talking about jail where they holding you while you waiting trial. We're talking about now you convicted and this is where you at. You know, so and it's interesting, man. It's an interesting world out there.
I believe you. But what is it? It's about to be 5 of my time. I need to go get some things from my son's room and put some more things in the refrigerator while I'm at it. But next time I am off, ladies and gentlemen, it will actually be season 12 premiere. It will be the season 12 premiere. I'm definitely not going to go out my way to do any side camera things. Nope, not until next week Friday. So let's go ahead and get out here. And K-Slay, I appreciate you. Like I said, thank you for having that conversation with me. See, ladies and gentlemen, I'm not opposed to having, like I said, and I put controversial in air quotes because what you guys think is controversial is slow Tuesday in my world. If people has a wild take, I'm willing to listen to it just to hear where they're coming from, can they substantiate and that type of stuff. There's a lot of people who like to do the shock jock, like to throw mud in the wall, or just be to themselves thinking like, oh, I'm gonna say this and I'm gonna kill him with this one. Ain't no one think about this perspective. And I'm thinking, yeah, nobody thought about that perspective because you're a flaming restart. That's why nobody thought about that. And that's not what we identify as. But with what Kay was talking about in Clubhouse the other evening, obviously initially there were some disagreements, but with just hearing her more, I understand what she's saying. How did she come to that conclusion, especially when you talk about a particular demographic of men? So I'm glad that we had that conversation, Kay. Like I said, you're invited on my platforms anytime. You're a moderator on YouTube now, so you're definitely part of the family. So I appreciate you. Thanks, man. And Cowboy, you already know what the deal is, man. 4.5 years and counting. I appreciate you, man. Thank you. So,
all right, no problem.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. That was Cowboy, ladies and gentlemen. Let's go ahead. All right, let's go ahead and shut it down because, like I said, I got some things to take care of, and I'm seeing Starscream with a weird title. And I'm gonna see. I actually have an idea how this came about, so let me go talk to him about that. It ain't my fault, trust me. It's when you get. I'm not gonna do that. Shout out to my boy Mo. Good people. You, one more contact like this, ladies and gentlemen. If you like the show, hit the like button, follow, and subscribe, share to a friend or two. Follow me on all social links are located in the description. We're on our way to 1,000 subscribers. Where we sitting at right now? When it comes to okay, y'all, we are 6 subscribers away. 6 subscribers away from doing the Cash App giveaway episode. Once we get to 1,000 subscribers, Cash App giveaway. Third and second runner up is getting 25. First runner up is getting 50, and grand prize Cash App is getting $100. So I will do that for you guys, but we have to get to 1,000 subscribers first. Once we do that, we do the Cash App giveaway. All right. It's been a pleasure, guys. Like I said, the 5 components when it comes to protection, even abuse, physical, mental, spiritual, emotional, and financial. Make sure you are protecting yourself all formats, and make sure you protect yourself against those formats as well when it comes to someone attacking you. You guys have been great. Shout out to Clubhouse. Thank you guys for tuning in. You'll be seeing me soon. I'll say that much. BTSI show, Christopher J. Talk to you guys later. Peace out.
Like an extraterrestrial, extraterrestrial.
Doctor?
Like I don't belong, I feel like I don't belong. Like I don't belong, I feel like I don't belong. Extraterrestrial, 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 extraterrestrial. Don't belong, I feel like I don't belong. Like I don't belong, I feel like I don't belong. Extraterrestrial, 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 extraterrestrial. Like an extraterrestrial, extraterrestrial. Like I don't belong, I feel like I don't belong. Like I don't belong, I feel like I don't belong. Extraterrestrial, 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 extraterrestrial. Don't belong, I feel like I don't belong. Like I don't belong, I feel like I don't belong. Extraterrestrial, extraterrestrial, extraterrestrial.
It's a mess, but hey, don't even worry about it.